All right, we're back for part two. Yeah, and I realize this is going to be a long, long lesson, but strap yourself in. There's not too much you need to do as far as um, taking notes. Just absorb as much as you can. Ask questions of your neighbor or of me as we go when there's stuff you're not understanding. I'll try and pick up the pace a little bit so you can get into some exercises. This does sink home better when you're doing the work itself. But anyway, back to our list of stuff that we're going to do. Show that say hello is just another function. So we've been writing functions since we first learned JavaScript way back in the day. So just to show you that it's just another function, watch. I'll have say hello, rest all, room 176, right? And remember, when I call that function, that becomes the first parameter who, that becomes the second parameter where, and then it'll run this say hello code. So if I run that, save it, refresh, it should have that silly say hello message. Yeah, they're welcome to room 176 rest all. Dandy. So that's, by the way, not attached to an object at all, right? That wasn't an object. There's nothing to do with objects, nothing to do with teacher object. It never had anything to do with student object. That was just a plain old grade 11 computer science JavaScript function. What we did here is we attached it. We attached it to teacher. And it became a method of the object teacher in that line right there. So notice that if I went like this, teacher dot say hello, say hello, teacher dot say hello, and then rest all 176, and comment this out, run that one. It says teacher.sayHello is not a function. So it looked in the teacher object for say hello, and it didn't know what the heck I was talking about. Well, that makes sense because we called it greeting. If I put greeting in here, then just like it did earlier, that will work. But it's not going to say greeting from Mr. Ferd, room 456. It's going to say rest all in 176. Just you watch. And there it is. Right? It doesn't quite make sense. What we would like here is for this greeting to access the name and room of the object that's calling it. That's what we would like. And we'll get to that in a moment. But I want to just show you that we could attach this function. This function is hanging out in no man's land, right? So if we wanted to attach it to our student, and I'm going to call it do whatever. Remember, the idea of a method, it's got a verb in it. So do whatever, say hello, calc average. There's a doing word in there. So now, if I run this, the say hello method is going to be attached to student. So I could go now student dot do whatever, because it's called do whatever in this function. But again, it's taking the parameters. It's not saying a greeting from the student. It's saying do whatever from whatever these parameters are. And I don't think that's quite what we want to have happen, but we'll fix that in a second. Let's just show you that works. Okay, so we've attached that that function to the student object as well. So we can attach existing functions to objects that we've created. Dandy. All right. How do we get it so it refers to the name of the object? So we'd like it to just look up this value, and it would look up this value, right? That's what we'd like it to do. We'd like it, whatever object is calling it, look for that person's name or that thing's name, and we can do that, in fact. And oddly enough, I was actually using the keyword there. I said, how would we get the object to use this name in this room? And it's actually using the word this. Okay, I want to go back to here, make sure. Attaching functions to an object, reusing functions. So, I mean, we've done that, right? We wrote that function once, and then we attached it to student, we attached it to teacher, we reuse it. We're reusing it all over the place. This keyword in student object and say hello method. So the word this will allow you to refer back to the object that's calling it. Okay? The object that's calling it. So hang on, what do I got here? No, we're okay. So what I'm talking about is what we'd like is for this function to, I'm going to change this and not have anything. We just want it to say, instead of sending us some parameters, look for who's calling you. So we want it to be this dot name. Oh, hang on, this dot room. And over here, this dot name. Notice right now, if we had the student object call the say hello function, this wouldn't work because the student object doesn't have a room. But I'm going to delete, or did I delete off that? Yes, I deleted the line where no, I didn't. It's down here. So delete off that line that makes say hello attached to the student. So delete that. And now if I asked it to do the greeting, notice right now the greeting connects to say hello. It doesn't have any parameters, right? So if I were to run this right now, I deleted the parameters off there, it would give me an error message. And let me show you that that's true. Oh, no, it didn't. It actually worked, even though we asked it to call, we called greeting with rest all in 176. When it did greeting, it connected it to say hello, but it printed out this dot room and this dot name. It looked back to teacher and said, we want to print out the room of the object that called it, this object's room, this object's name. And then it looked it up. And that's more along the lines of what we wanted to have happen, right? If teacher called that method, we would like it to print out the teacher's room and the teacher's name. That's where we use the keyword this. That's the keyword this. Okay, dandy. And I think I have more to say about the this keyword here in a second. The Java keyword this allows a method to refer to the object itself that is running the method. This allows our code to become more flexible and more reusable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that new say hello method into our note. Okay, you want to add that in there, and we'll see examples where the this keyword is used all the time now. Okay, I'm going to change the font so it looks cool. Courier. Make it a little bit smaller so it'll all fit on one line. There we go. Okay, so the this keyword, that means when it runs this code, it's going to go to whatever object called it, look for the room. Whatever object called it, look for the name. Now notice, and this is going to be the last point before we go on to the second example here. If I were to go back and now go just say hello, rest all 176, what's going to happen here? Is it actually going to print out welcome to room 176 Restall's room? No, it's not. It's going to give me an error message now. Why does that make sense? Oh, it did give me an error, didn't give me an error message, but it did something goofy. It says welcome to room undefined, blank's room. So it didn't know what the heck it was talking about, because this dot room didn't exist. This dot name didn't exist. So when it ran this function, it didn't know what to write in it. JavaScript's pretty good at trying to do its best, but it printed out the word undefined instead. Okay, I think I'm going to pick up the last example, the last bit in part 3. I think we might have part 3 and part 4. Big, long lesson. We can almost think of this as a 2-day lesson, folks. So I'm going to pick that up in part 3.